Hi, Ajoku here, and today we're going to be talking about releasing equity. How to release equity in a property. If that is something that you're interested in, stay tuned to find out more. So what is an equity release? So let's have an example. I'll give you an example. 20 years ago, a property was purchased for £74,000. Now that property is worth £500,000. So the equity that is in that property is the difference between what it's worth now to what it was worth 20 years ago. So an equity release is money that is lent to a homeowner on a lifetime mortgage. This means that when the person passes away, the property will be sold and the interest will be deducted and paid back to the equity release company. So what can you use an equity release for? There's several things that you can actually use it for. A round trip around the world, to use for school fees for your children or for your grandchildren, to use for a long deserved holiday, to use to renovate your property. For example, you might have some renovation that needs to be done, new garage or an extension or something. You can use that money for that. Or simply just to have a more comfortable life, to know that you've got some money that you can have as a pot, and then you can be living off that money. You may be saying to yourself, this sounds great. Can anyone do this? Unfortunately, no, not everyone can do this. This is generally for those that are age 55 and above who qualify for this. And what will happen is they will be paid either a series of payments or one lump sum payment. Another good question would be, how much money can one release? So as I gave an example, I said that the property was purchased for 74,000 and is now worth 500,000. And there's obviously a difference in equity. But typically speaking, as a rule of thumb, you are looking at about 60% of the value of your equity, which will be released to you. Any more than that figure, then we'll be looking at a different process. That process will be called a remortgage. You may be thinking, is equity release for me? Well, you'll be thinking, if, for example, you have to take out this equity and you want to leave a legacy for your children, then taking out equity from the property may not be a good idea. What you need to do is consider the pros and the cons, consider the costs involved, and maybe involve the family to discuss what you're planning to do so that you can decide as a family if the equity release is the best option for you. Negative equity guarantee. Make sure the product that you take out has a negative equity guarantee. This means that if your property should fall below the market price or go into negative equity, then the company that has given you that release of the equity will not be chasing you or your descendants for the difference or the balance. So I hope those points give you some idea of negative equity, whether it's for you or not for you. You can weigh up the pros and the cons, and just to get a good idea if this is something that you will perhaps want to pursue. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell. And remember, here at Swift Property Sell, we offer other services, financial services, which we can pass you on to our panel who deal with that, and they can help with equity releases, remortgages. If you want to sell your property, then we can also help with that. And we're here just to give you support. So if you need any help, please do drop us a line. Our details will be in the description below. God bless you. Take care. Have a fantastic day.